Hey, what's up, my friend? Are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. My name is Josh, and we're going to talk about 5 persuasion hacks that you can use to make more money. It's going to be awesome. Hey, have you ever seen Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian? You know, you might be a redneck if guy. I heard him tell this hilarious story one time, how he was sitting in bed, and his wife was sitting in bed next to him. They're both reading a book. And his wife said, "I'm hot." And then when she said, "I'm hot," Jeff put his book down, took the cover off, got up, walked over to the door, turned the fan on, and then went and got back in bed. And as he was getting back in bed, he realized, wait a second, I'm not hot. I'm not hot. He just like Pavlov's dog got up, responded to stimulus of his wife saying I'm hot, turned fan on, went and sat back down. And the reason that story's funny is because it's actually a story about persuasion. It's a story about anchoring and pre-framing and some of the things that we're going to talk about. If you have a small company, you don't have to be some Harvard MBA, psychologist or something to succeed, but there's little things you can learn that are going to help you in your business. They can help you in your relationships. They'll help you with parenting. My gosh, will they help you with parenting? Because persuasion is really just communication. Most people are very poor persuaders. And some people don't even want to learn persuasion because they have a misunderstanding. They have some false beliefs on what it means. So let me give you my definition of it, okay? Because manipulation, bad. Persuasion, good, like really good. The most talented, powerful, influential people in the world are master persuaders of the masses. They can communicate, they can transfer the ideas, thoughts, beliefs, and principles in their brain through their words and get them into another person. It's a big deal. So with our kids, we have 5 kids. We tell our kids that persuasion is using your skills, talents, and abilities to help another person make a decision that's in their own best interest. Manipulation, on the other hand, is using your skills, talents, and abilities to help another person make a decision that's only in my best interest, right? See, those are not the same thing. When it comes to sales or even the way you manage your employees, persuasion is really about massaging and the timing and the types of words you use and when you use them. Think of it as choreography to your communication. It's like you're a choir director and you're more strategic in how you say what you say, when you say what you say, right? And it's ultimately going to make you a lot more money. So I'll keep this video very simple. And if you like this content, comment, and I can expand on it. I'd be happy to go deeper on some of these things for sure. But the first thing that you should understand if you want to become more persuasive is what's called a pre-frame. So a frame, think of a frame, like a picture frame. A frame is something that holds a picture. It holds a view. It holds a point of view, a worldview, or an idea. And if you change the frame, it can change the picture. In fact, if you change the frame, it can create an entirely different picture. And pre-framing is a deep topic. There's actually pre-framing, reframing, deframing. There's all kinds of stuff. And an example of a frame is someone's worldview when it comes to opportunity, just as one tiny example. Some people, no matter what happens to them, cannot see opportunity in front of them. And maybe they grew up in the hood and they had poverty around them and they had abuse their whole life and their brain is programmed in this negative way. The frame that they have on the world, although it might not be actually true quantifiably at the macro level, to them, it's true. They think someone's out to get them. They think it's impossible for them to succeed. They think that people are going to steal from them and cheat from them and betray them and abuse them and hurt them. And although those are all possibilities for all of us, their frame is distorted. Their frame is wrong. And if you want to help someone like that, you have to break and rebuild and replace their frame for the world. Now, that's a little heavy. That's a little deep. But framing also works in very simple ways. So if I'm going to take my kids to the beach and I just say, hey, guys, we're going to go to the beach. That isn't a good pre-frame because my 7-year-old daughter will be like, oh my gosh, we're going to the beach. She goes and gets her flip-flops and packs her bag and she's ready to go right now. But I meant like this next weekend or in 3 months, we're going to go to the beach. And now she's disappointed. And what was a good thing and a good announcement I was making to her now creates, tears in her eyes because we're not going right now because I didn't do a good job framing up that information to give to her, right? So a good pre-frame in that example for my daughter Finley would be saying, hey, Finley, guess what? I have some great news. She's like, really? I say, yes. In 3 weeks from today, okay, 3 weeks, 21 days, we're going to go to the beach. You only have to go to bed and wake up 21 more times, and then your toes are going to be in the sand on the beach. It's going to be amazing. How excited are you? That is more structured. It's a better pre-frame. I've set the table correctly and clearly communicated to her. Another example of a pre-frame might be me softening the blow of bad news to my wife. Maybe I'm going to be home late for work, right? So a pre-frame in that context might be to remind my wife of the amazing date night we just had and how excited I am for the date night that we have coming up on Saturday, because Saturday is date night day. You got to date your wife, boys. What are you doing? Be a king. Anyway, so if I'm going to be late today, I might pre-frame before I say I'm going to be late. Reminder of the epic date night last time and how I'm so excited for the steakhouse we're going to the next time. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late tonight, right? So because I did it in that order, because I was choreographed in the way I communicated, a better result happens, right? A better result happens. All conflict, if we think about it, comes from unmet expectations. And so you as a business owner, CEO, or father, parent, or husband is about expectation management. And these persuasion things that we're going to talk about, including pre-frames, help you raise your game in those areas. The second persuasion hack is called anchoring. Anchoring can be used positively and negatively. Anchoring is very simple. It's when you set someone to a big thing to then reveal a little thing, or you set someone to a little thing to then reveal a big thing. You're like, what are you talking about, Josh? This makes no sense. Think about it in terms of sales. If the most expensive thing that you currently sell is $1,000, and when you're going through the sales process with your customers, if they become aware that you have a $5,000 package, okay, and then you reveal to them that your price for them is $1,000, that has a profound psychological effect on the way that they interpret the $1,000 number. Because now they have a point of reference because you anchored them to this $5,000 thing. The $1,000 relative to the $5,000 seems like a really good deal. Now, if they didn't have that anchor and you just said, all right, it's $1,000, you don't really know what they're thinking. You're not controlling what they're comparing it to. They might be comparing it to the price that they got 3 years ago from the fly-by-night company who was $500, and now they're having a panic attack. So the way that you choreograph the sales message in that example would be, oh, Mrs. Jones, I love your neighborhood. It's beautiful. Yeah, the golf course around the corner is one of my favorites. Yeah, we just did a $5,000 service for a guy down the street, less than 2 miles from here. It's beautiful. So anyway, here's blah, 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 blah. Here, it's $1,000. Something as simple and as brief as that technically is an anchor. It's an anchor because the human mind is hardwired for comparison. It's called the law of comparison. We compare things to other things. So it's your job to control what they compare your price to. You can use this as a family as well in relationships with employees. You can anchor people. You can use it in negotiations when you're going to buy a company or you're negotiating the pay for an employee. You anchor them to a low number and they might be like, no way, I would never work for $40,000 a year. Oh, well, no, I totally get it. And they want $50,000 and you're willing to pay, $50,000. But if we anchor them to a lower number first, they're way more excited when they finally get what they want. So anchors are very versatile. It's happening all around you, but if you don't train your brain to see it, you're not going to notice it. It happens in media. It happens in advertising, of course. It happens internally at companies. It happens with families. My kids anchor me. They pre-frame me. This is what happens. Kids kind of automatically, naturally figure out how to be persuasive. The third thing that you want to learn if you want to become a better persuader is called future pacing. Future pacing is one of my favorite things because, what you want to really be as a business owner or a parent is a walking beacon of enthusiasm as often as possible. Enthusiasm transplants. You want to be enthusiastic and transfer that into other people. Future pacing is when you intentionally get people excited about what life is going to be like in the future. Imagine what it's going to feel like when the toes are in the sand at the beach, Finley. Imagine what it's going to feel like when the water washes over your feet and you get to play with your sister and your friends are going to be there. Imagine what it's going to be like when we go to the pizza place around the corner, your favorite one that we never go to because we hardly ever go to the beach, but we're going there in 3 weeks. What? This is amazing. I'm future pacing. I'm painting a picture in her mind of what's going to happen. It's a huge persuasion advantage. You can use it in practical day-to-day life. You should be using it everywhere in your business. I mean, if you answer the phone and someone says, hello, I'd like to get service. And you say, great, let me get your address. Okay, great. We're going to go give you an estimate. That's like what everybody does. Future pacing can be simply inserted into what you're already doing. Oh my gosh, you're going to be so excited when you meet John. He's our sales guy. He's going to give you the pricing. John literally might be the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. He's very familiar with your neighborhood. It's going to be easy. He's not going to push you. He's not going to pressure you. John's one of my favorite people. So anyway, I got your address and we'll see you at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Future pacing. I set expectations, I choreograph the communication to create a better result. That way the homeowner is like excited for him to show up. And so instead of just being defense freaked out mode, she's a little more excited, right? And that's useful. And you could bake this in your whole process. I wish I could make like a 7-hour video just on this right now, but I'll keep it brief. The fourth idea is called seeding. Seeding is when you plant ideas in people's heads without them knowing it, right? This definitely can be used for evil. Okay. All these things can be used for evil, or manipulation, but what we're talking about is persuasion, meaning they're good things. Okay. You're an ethical person. You're an ethical business owner. It's seeding is when you plant ideas in people's head. I heard Myron Golden tell me one time, he said, people don't always believe you, but they always believe themselves, right? Think about that. So if I'm having a sales conversation with you and I say, you need to buy this because of X, you're automatically defensive because you're like, you don't know me. You don't know me, right? But if you think a thought in your own brain, if you think the thought, I need to buy this, then you believe yourself, right? So how do I get you to think the thought without me actually saying you need to buy this? Without me saying you need to buy this, how do I plant the seed in your mind? Well, you do it through storytelling, metaphors, analogies. And again, this is more of an advanced principle, but ask yourself this: do you even flirt with the idea of learning these skills? Do you even read books ever, articles? Are you curious about this? Because these are all learnable skills. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this, but the results are crazy because you don't have to walk around telling everybody what they should want. You simply tell stories and metaphors and you build bridges. It's called an epiphany bridge, so that people come to the conclusion, you know what, I think I really need this. You know what, that makes a lot of sense. I should do the luxury package. That makes a lot of sense, right? And you do it by using these principles here. So when you're selling, plant seeds in your customer's mind about what could be, about what their needs could be. You can also plant seeds of doubt in your customer's mind. For example, if you think they're going to be price sensitive and go with the cheaper company, part of your process could be telling a story about a homeowner who got robbed by an unlicensed, uninsured, unscrupulous contractor. But you're not telling them like, you should buy me, this happened. You just say, did you hear about over in Plano, that contractor stole those people's stuff? I mean, the world is nuts. The world we live in is nuts. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, what do you got going on, Mrs. Jones? And you do that. That's called seeding. You planted a seed of doubt where they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go with the cheapest guy, right? And because they had that thought without you literally telling it to them, it has 100 times more power. And last but not least, if you want to be more persuasive, is understand forced choice closes. I use these with my wife. It's kind of a running joke in our house. My kids do forced choice closes, but it's a really good persuasion principle. It's very simple. Humans respond better to either or choices than they do to yes or no choices. This applies to your business everywhere. It applies to where you go on date night. I heard Alex Hormozy make a video where he said, do you want to go to Chipotle for dinner? Well, that's a yes or no, right? And so that's not good because you might say no. It's better to say, do you want to go to a Cheesecake Factory or Chipotle for dinner? Which one makes more sense for you? And maybe I'm presenting two choices that I both am happy with. Which one of the two things I want are you going to pick, right? Now, they could still say no, but they're more likely, studies show, and practical life experience shows, they're definitely going to pick one of the two. And when it comes to your business, you can do simple things. For example, maybe the customer didn't say they were going to hire you yet. And so you could use an assumptive forced choice close, assuming that they're going to buy from you. So let's say they're still mulling it over. They have that $1,000 package. They're a little nervous. They're like, I don't know about this guy, but they're on the fence. They're close. What you can do is you can say things like, Mrs. Jones, when we come to do the service, do you prefer that we come in the mornings or would an afternoon appointment be okay? That's an either or assumptive future-based close. Very simple. Hey, when we collect payment for the services, did you want to use a check, cash, or would you rather just do a credit card? Now, that's either or, giving them multiple choices. They've done studies on ice cream that when you give people too many choices, they regret what they pick. But if you give them 2 or 3 choices, they have a huge rate of satisfaction with what they pick. So again, let's recap. We have pre-framing, anchoring, future pacing, seeding, and forced choice closes. Yes, we could spend hours on all these, but does that get your wheels turning? Is this interesting to you? Can you see how if you know things other people don't know, you can have things other people can't have? Do you understand that your brain is your asset? Do you understand that you make more money with your brain than you ever will with your back? That's one of the reasons I made this YouTube channel. I hope you like it. I hope that you're sharing it. I hope that you're subscribing to it, commenting on it, and posting it all over to other people that you think might find it useful. I appreciate you being here. Until next time, bye-bye.